Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Big Blue Banter. I'm Phoenix Stevens, joined by none other than Kai McClellan, who has the recap of the ugly, disgusting UK football game at South Carolina.
Thanks, Phoenix. Kentucky football went on the road this weekend to Columbia, South Carolina for the team's first SEC road game of the season. Looking to win its first conference matchup in over a calendar year, the Wildcats rolled out Cutter Boley for the first SEC road start of his career. Ultimately, the Wildcats lost 35-13, and Boley produced only 124 yards through the air and turned the ball over 3 times. Here's what head coach Mark Stoops had to say about Boley's outing after the game.
Well, yeah, I think, it's hard, man. This league is unrelenting, that, so, I think, he has to learn by playing and he will. He'll take the coaching and, look at things, and it's not all on him. We all can do better.
Of course, for the Wildcats, it doesn't get much easier as they will be traveling this weekend to take on the number 12 Georgia Bulldogs.
Here's Jen Lifson with more on Saturday's matchup down in Athens with the Bulldogs.
Thanks, Phoenix. Unfortunately for Kentucky football, the competition isn't getting any easier. The Wildcats will travel to Athens this weekend to face number 12 Georgia. This is a Bulldogs team coming off a gritty 24-21 loss to Alabama, and Mark Stoops knows all too well that after a loss, Georgia will be eager to prove a point and fight for a statement win back on its home turf this Saturday in hope of keeping its name amongst the top in the SEC.
It's going to be a real challenge here. Great respect for Kirby and Georgia and what they've done. Georgia coming off a loss, I'm sure they'll be in a bad mood, like our players are. Offensively, a typical Georgia team. Very big, very physical, run the ball extremely well, and a quarterback that operates within that Mike Bobo offense very effectively. Gunnar is a guy that is most definitely a dual threat guy, and he operates this offense very well. He's a guy that can he just makes very good decisions. He can hurt you with his legs, and just buy himself enough time, and is just enough speed and athletic ability to really hurt you when he wants to. But he also operates the offense very efficiently.
And while Georgia's quarterback brings plenty of experience, Kentucky will lean on freshman Cutter Boley. Even after a rough showing against South Carolina last week, his status as QB1 hasn't changed as he continues to develop both on and off the field.
If I'm not better today than I was the game before, I feel something wrong. I continue to get better every week. Continue to get better after every game. Go back and look at that film. There's a lot of things that can grow in.
Cutter will get better. The nice thing about him, he's very resilient, and he has a strong belief in himself, and the players believe in him as well.
All these guys in this team really believe that we're so close, we're one step away, and we continue to get better. I know these guys believe we can take that next step.
For Boley and the Wildcats, Saturday will be about turning belief into execution against one of the best defenses in the country. Kentucky heads off to Athens this weekend to face off against number 12 Georgia at noon. The betting odds have Kentucky team at 13.5 points and Georgia at 34.5 points. Cutter Boley and Gunnar Stockton are both looking to avenge themselves after a rough outing last weekend. It should be a tough game this weekend for the Cats. Back to Kai and Phoenix at the desk.
October is here, which means it's MLB postseason time, and for the first time since 2020, the Cincinnati Reds made the playoffs. Redlegs finished the regular season 83-79, which got them the 6th seed in the National League and a date with the LA Dodgers out west in the wild card. Behind 2 home runs from Shohei Ohtani, the Dodgers took Game 1 in a 10-5 final. In Game 2, LA won 8-4 to take the series. The Reds got out to a 2-0 lead in the first inning, but unfortunately, they just didn't have the offensive firepower to keep up with the defending World Series champs. On top of that, we have this weekend, which means it's almost time for another week of Kentucky high school football. With each passing week, the matchups just get bigger and bigger, and that's no exception here in Week 7. Frederick Douglass looks to get back to 500 in a tough road game at Male. These two powerhouses met twice before, with Douglass getting the win in the first time around, and the Bulldogs coming away with a 31-28 victory over the Broncos last season. Just across town at Holy Cross, Sarah Spartans will look to extend their winning streak to 5 as they take on the Cougars. Then, in a high-stakes district matchup in Class 5A, Woodford County plays host to the South Oldham Dragons. South Oldham has won this matchup 3 of the last 4 times it's been played, including a 32-27 victory over the Yellow Jackets a year ago. That's it for your local high school football preview. Over to Zach with soccer news.
Thanks, Phoenix. Now let's talk about women's soccer. The unranked Kentucky Wildcats took on the 25th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide on Friday. The Lady Wildcats took an early lead to a goal scored by redshirt sophomore Catherine Truitt in the 9th minute of the game, getting her first goal of the season. This will be the lone goal scored in the first half, as the Wildcats will hold on to this lead until the 76th minute, until the Alabama Crimson Tide junior Nadia Ramadan scoring her 5th goal of the season. 36 seconds later, Alabama would then commit a foul that would give the Wildcats a penalty kick for a chance to regain the lead. Freshman Gabriel Pareto converts on the penalty kick to regain the lead for the Cats. The Cats will hold on to the lead and win the game by a score of 2-1. I wanted to ask you, so the corner goal where your player scored on the corner kick and the header, do y'all practice corners at all, or is it like an in-go thing?
We do practice the corners. We've had 100 corners. I think we lead the country in the corners. I think that's maybe the second goal we've scored on the corners. So we have to get a little bit better, but hopefully the practice has paid off.
The second I wanted to ask you, now 3-1 in the conference. As a coach, like, how do you feel? And especially being a strong ranked Alabama team at home, like, how do you feel as a coach?
I mean, you're excited. This is why you're playing in the SEC. You're playing against the best of the best. 3-1, and we put ourselves in a good position. We're going to enjoy this one and get prepared for Florida.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it. It was nice meeting you.
The Wildcats' next game is on the road against the Florida Gators at 7 o'clock. Phoenix and Kai, back to you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Big Blue Banter. We've talked some UK football, UK soccer, Reds, high school football, and now it's time for the UK Club Sports Report.
Here's Ainsley Saunders and Desiree Skrapinski with more.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to the Club Sport Report. My name's Desiree Skrapinski.
And I'm Ainsley Sowers.
And this is what's happening with club sports. Some of the club sports that are in full swing are men's lacrosse, dance ensemble, and women's lacrosse. 2 years ago, men's lacrosse made the leap to Division I club. This was amazing for the program and added some extra competition. The Cats made it an easy transition and stayed good competitors all season. Now that the season just kicked off with tryouts coming to end, the team took an insane 42 players, which is interesting because men's lacrosse plays 10v10 games. Taking 4 goalies and multiple attackers while always being a strong attack team with a really high draw percentage, Kentucky Club Men's Lacrosse is set up for perfection this season. Ainsley, tell me a little bit more about the history of Dance Ensemble.
Dance Ensemble was founded in May of 1939 by Mary King Montgomery Counts, who was a graduate student at the University of Kentucky. She served as the group's first director. Her goal was to create a space for students to explore different dance styles and techniques while choreographing their own performances. Today, the club continues that same tradition with students leading practices, choreographing, teaching, and hosting concerts to showcase their work. This fall, the Dance Ensemble will host performances on November 22nd at 3 p.m. and November 23rd at 2 p.m. Now shifting to women's lacrosse.
Women's lacrosse just recently ended tryouts are in full practice swing for the 2025-2026 season. Tryouts took place September 10th through the 12th, and the team took a full roster.
The schedule was recently just released. The team will travel to the ECU tournament from October 24th to the 26th. They will then host Transylvania and Center on November 2nd, followed by Senior Night on November 9th. As the season progresses, we will be sure to keep you posted. That's all we have for you today. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Club Sport Report. Now back to Phoenix and Kai.
Thank you for joining us this week on Big Blue Banter.
Be sure to tune in next week for the latest UK and local news and views. We'll see you all again at 1 p.m. next Thursday. Peace out.